Okay, so this is for the fixed signs. That's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So let's get into the past, present, and future energies as we enter April 2026. As you know, that I'm doing this a little bit differently by including the modalities of the zodiac instead of doing this individually. But I also will be doing, at the end of this reading, I'll be pulling a card for each zodiac, so you can get a vibe. Just switching it up a little bit. It'll make my life a little bit easier with editing, and then I can also be better on track on getting the full moon and Libra readings out by at least both types of videos should be out by the beginning of within the first week of April. So hopefully this will help me timing wise to get those videos out on time. But yeah, this is going to be a broader, larger collective reading for the past, present, and future energies. I actually think it kind of fits as we are in a new astrological year. We are in Aries season, the beginning of spring. Cardinal signs are always the beginning of a season. Fixed signs are always the middle of the season. And then mutable signs are always the ending of the season. So I think it's kind of appropriate by putting us in our modalities and stuff like that. I spoke to the cardinal signs. I'm going to be speaking to you, and then I'll be speaking to the mutable signs and kind of configure where we're all supposed to be as a collective modality starting a new astrological year. So hopefully that is what plays out. Okay, so I'm gonna just get started. For my fixed signs, this is your past, present, and future energies. I'm just gonna do a little bit of shuffling. I was telling the cardinal signs, I don't really have I'm not really tapped into what April is feeling like. I am a little mentally checked out. March kind of, I was too busy warning everybody else about how, we gonna get dragged and trampled and stomped on and effed around and got that done to myself. Just because March kind of threw me. It kind of threw me a little bit, threw me off pivot. Not as you would think it would. I didn't have a lot of focus in March. I felt like my focus was scattered everywhere else. Not in a bad way. I wouldn't say it is in a bad way. I definitely enjoyed myself in March. I didn't have any terrible times, but it mentally just it got a little overwhelming, a little overstimulating and stuff like that. So I'm back to the routine. They say Libras love routine until they get bored, and then they love being spontaneous until they get concerned with and then they go back to their routine. So I'm kind of in that space where I'm gonna come back to a little bit more routine and stuff like that, but I needed some unpredictability a little bit, and that kind of what March came with. We had eclipses, we had retrogrades, we had all types of stuff going on in March. So I just kind of went with the flow of March, and now I'm trying to get back in set for April. So let's see. For my fixed signs, this is your past energy. Okay. For my fixed signs, this is your present energy. Delightful. And for my fixed signs, this is your future energy. Okay. So, you didn't want to show me your past. Okay. There's a lot in there, so let's unpack it. But before we do that, I can just make a message on what I can see already. And your present energy is very beautiful, very abundant, very prosperous. Ten of Pentacles is a very abundant and wealthy energy. It's about generational abundance and wealth, or just being able to have like a very abundant, wealthy, and health is wealth in matters of this too. Wealthy and rich in life type of like a family foundation, community support system. It's all put together. 10 is as high as you can go. You can go higher, but 10 is about completion. So it's a beautiful energy. 10 of Pentacles, very abundant, very prosperous. Presently, you're sitting in that. So that's beautiful. In the future, though, I do see some type of emotional fallout with a connection, with a relationship. A relationship is formed by two people with a similar interest, whether that is romantic, platonic, familial, or career, but without a doubt is something that you're emotionally invested in, something that you can kind of see eye to eye with and emotionally exchange within. So however it goes, there seems to be some type of disconnect, emotional disconnect, or just emotional disharmony within the relationship. It doesn't tell me too much of anything of if this is like some type of separation, breakup, or anything like that, or again, needing to take a break, needing to separate from this person for a matter of time, but we'll get into that when we clarify. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have 10 of Wands, but it's in a reverse. So it feels like you have gotten something that was weighing you down, holding you back. You have lifted the weight off of your shoulders. You have been able to give people back their energies so that you can focus on your own. I feel like you were holding too many of other people's opinions, energies, and antics and stuff like that, and trying to hold it on and put it all together. But unfortunately, that just causes you, it blinds you from seeing anything beyond your burdens. Okay, but you've been able to put that weight down, put it behind you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about your past first. Look at all these cards. I'm gonna flip them. If I flip them, we have the Fool in reverse. We have 7 of Cups, and we have 6 of Pentacles. I feel like there was a resistance to starting a new beginning something, a fresh start, a fresh beginning. The Fool, the beginning of the tarot. It's like the beginning of a journey. There's resistance there. There was some even fear of the unknown, fear of what's going to come out on the other side, or fear of even like trusting yourself, trusting the process, trusting faith, and the fact that you have to begin something, like you have to start something new. There was like this level of discomfort in having to be pushed past your extremes, pushed past your comfort zone a little bit. It seems like you had a lot of options to choose. My words are just meshing. Excuse me. It seemed like you had a lot of options to decipher from, to choose from, to select from. There's so many things that you could have been emotionally invested in, so many other different people, places, situations, and things like that. And they possibly at one point was all asking for your attention, all asking for your focus. And so you decided that whatever is reciprocal in energy and efforts is worth actually investing in, and is worth your generosity. That's basically it. So I'll just clarify them for each zone. With this past energy, there is resistance. I even want to say resistance to change, but resistance or fear of the unknown. Fear of starting something new because you never done it before. And whatever it is, you had to make a selection from various of options of what you had to emotionally invest in. And you decided to be very generous. Again, 6 of Pentacles is about reciprocal energy and efforts in resources. This is about having a balance give and take, equal give and take as he's holding the scales. But I can't help I usually don't point this out in this card because this card is what is meant, what I said. But I can't help but to see that, you know, it's a card about generosity, being generous. But it's a card about being so generous that you don't have having such a generous spirit that it doesn't fulfill you if someone can or cannot be reciprocal and pay you back, because your energy and your efforts is so reciprocal within self that, you know, you just have this generous spirit. But Six of Pentacles is again about equal give and take. Obviously these people here are more like peasants and beggars and stuff like that, and this person is like the generous spirit. He already knows, he already has a balance. See, with the, as he's holding the scales, he already has a balance within himself. He may even like scale these people's true intentions and purity, you know, like in the Justice card or in the Story of Mayat, where you compare the heart to the ostrich feather or the feather, and to test and see of purity and justness. That's kind of like the generosity that's happening here. And he obviously knows that he's not going to get anything back from them, as they are in some type of way below them and below him in wealth. Something about that is pointing out to me. So let me just shuffle a little bit here. That was the Strength card, Leo energy. Fixed signs. The Fool card, I believe, is Aries, but don't quote me on that. But I believe it's Aries energy. They're cardinal signs. I'm seeing just a lot of pentacles and a lot of cups, which is emotional and physical matters. But then we have the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is just energetic. But let's talk about it. In the past, in the past, with this energy, I felt like you didn't have like the energy to, you didn't have like the energy, the inspiration, the motivation to like start up new things. Like you didn't have like that spark, that drive within you. Even though you were new and inexperienced, there still was like this hesitation on being like more creative and more passionate with how you like approach things. And it's because you didn't have enough energy to do it. 9 of Cups in the reverse. 9 of Cups is about wish fulfillment, emotional satisfaction, emotional fulfillment. But in the reverse, it wasn't fulfilling for you because you didn't do it for you. What you did it for was more performative than it was fulfilling for you. It wasn't meant like it's like 9 of Cups is about emotional success and achievement, and again, fulfillment, satisfaction, being able to do things to feed yourself emotionally, to satisfy your emotional needs, right? And it didn't seem like you did it to completely fulfill you. It seemed like you did it to make yourself look better, make yourself look fulfilled, make yourself look full. But it actually, you were still scrapping scraps or something like that. I don't know. 3 of Swords in the reverse. Okay. Healing or processing some type of heartbreak, processing some type of separation, breakup, betrayal. Three of Swords is it's like a mental a mental disappointment. And it was like your mind has now broken your heart because you figured it out. But in the reverse, it is about still processing the hurt. And unfortunately, it also is about thinking your feelings instead of feeling your feelings. But ultimately, here, you're still processing the hurt, the pain behind it. So take it out of resonance. This is why I don't really like doing bigger collective readings, because the energy be all over the place. So somewhere in the past, you had a lot of options to be able to emotionally invest in. And it seems like you did to ones that, felt balanced, felt reciprocal. But something here, I wanted to say something here drained you. Something here took your light, took your spark, took your drive, took your ambition, all of that. And they drained you. And there may have been a time that you were able to be very independent in taking care of your emotional needs. Again, self-satisfaction, self-fulfillment. And they saw that light within you, and I feel like they drained the hell out of you. All because you invested in them. Three of Wands in the reverse. I feel like they kept you in some type of box, and so it smothered your light. I'm gonna just keep that there. That's in the past. Maybe we could talk about that another day. That was in the past. And this present energy is very abundant. It's very, 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 very abundant. Very close knit. Very, very rich in life. Like you just are just very happy and satisfied and stable. Very stable energy. That's what I'm forgetting. 10 of Pentacles. Very stable familial unit in home within this energy. So 10 of Pentacles. Okay, 10 of Pentacles. We got Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. This is another 10. Angel number 1010. 10 10 10. And then we have 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. I am confused. I am confused. There's so beneath this happy, healthy family foundation in dynamics, there's something underlying here. Something underlying about how you're unable to work together properly. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. And that's causing a lot of delays in how things turn in your favor because of who you're working with here. Because of who's pitching in here is causing delays in your success. Although presently you're here. Presently you're there. You're successful. Very successful. Long term, it seems like it's going to cause more delays and interruptions. Okay? The Empress here in the reverse. There's a lack of productivity. See, the Empress already doesn't have to do much. She is the divine feminine energy. So she's not meant to put in hard labor and all this other stuff. She's just meant to sit in her essence and attract all the things that is meant for her, that she needs, that she wants, that she desires. The Empress is ruled by Venus. I'm speaking to fixed signs, so Taurus, this is you, and also Libra, but that is cardinal signs. So, but Empress, this is definitely big Taurus energy, as she's ruled not only by Venus but by the Earth. So the planet of Venus is the planet of wants and desires. The planet of Earth is the planet of necessities. Okay? She is literally given everything that she ever would need. In an infinite amount, she is given it just by existing, just by being her. She's the original creator. So when she's not in that creative energy, she obviously has like a creative block. She cannot manifest or create the life that she wants. She cannot create life itself, and she cannot create the life that she wants, the lifestyle that she wants. Again, she doesn't have to do much already in her energy, because she already attracts in what she wants, needs, and desires in life. When she's in the reverse, how much more lazy can you get? I'm not calling the Empress lazy by any doubt. She does exactly what amount of work she has to need. The Empress, she's usually depicted by being a mother, by being a pregnant being. Baby, listen, you sitting around making eyeballs and eyelashes and fingernails, you don't need to do much, okay? So no, I'm not calling you lazy. You're already doing enough by birthing and creation, okay? When you're starting a business, you know, it is slow paced. It has to build up momentum. It has to build up clientele and things like that. But just because you're not actively like posting all the ads and jumping up and down and doing splits and stuff like that, doesn't mean that it's not working. Okay, there's a certain level of productivity that the Empress is required to do, but most likely she's not gonna have to do too much, because everything is always going to align to her. Again, so when she's in the reverse, baby, she's a little lazy. She's a little unproductive. But it also points to just that creative blockage. Something here is blocking her from being able to create the things that she wants in life. And it could be who she's working with. It could be just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. Just as simple as who is she working with? Who is surrounding her? You're not going to be able to attract in butterflies if you have SHIT surrounding you. You're only attracting flies, okay? Prince or Knight of Swords. You need to be more assertive about how you're communicating with people. Being more direct, being more straightforward about how you're communicating with people. They're not getting you the first time. They're not hearing you the first time. In its own way, that can be a problem. Okay. But here, especially if you're working on Three of Pentacles, Pentacles is about finances, physical resources, materials, and stuff like that. If you guys are working on building those things for yourself and they're not working on building those things with you, then you need to speak up about it and take note of it the first time. Okay, underneath here is Six of Swords. Again, take note of it the first time. Six of Swords is actually removing yourself from the situation so that you can see things a little bit clearer, so that you can zoom out a little bit. Six of Swords is about traveling from chaotic waters to peaceful peaceful shorelines. Just because it doesn't seem like chaos and stuff like now, because there's no bickering, there's no arguing, there's no this and there's no that, there's still something unsettling. There's still something unsettling about it for you, and you need to remove yourself from it so that you can like go to clearer waters and truly see the reflection of everything. So let's look into the future. That might be what causes this emotional disharmony. Let's look into the future. Two of Cups. How are you feeling?
Now?
Not right now, baby.
Why now?
Let me finish this and then we can have a snack together, okay?
Okay.
Okay, baby. Alright. In the future, we have this Two of Cups. We have the Universe, the World card. So some type of cycle is going to come to completion here. In regards to that, we have the Four of Wands, which is a second relationship card. So I strongly getting that this is a relationship. In the future, this is about a relationship, obviously, right? But there's like instability within this relationship. It's like disconnected emotionally and energetically here with the Four of Wands. Because Four of Wands is normally about reaching milestones together and bringing families together and stuff like that. It's usually about union. Again, reaching some type of achievement, a finish line, some type of goal. And it's about bringing people together to celebrate. So it doesn't necessarily have to be about marriage and union and partnership and stuff like that, but this is someone that you may bring around your family or someone that you may celebrate your wins with. There's again, disconnect, disharmony, even separation here. And it all because I feel like something may have been, I'm saying all because I really don't know. Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Feel like you're very giving. Emotionally, you are very giving. You're very nurturing. You like to take care of people. You're very intuitive to other people's emotional needs as well. And I feel like maybe you are, somebody needs to like forgive someone. There needs to be, there's like a need for someone to apologize or something like that. Maybe there was like some dishonesty here, or maybe something got miscommunicated, misconstrued, like in its delivery or something like that. Because Five of Swords is like an argument may have come out, or just like a tense conversation, a difficult conversation, because fives are about difficulty, challenges, conflict. So conflicting, challenging, difficult conversation, okay? Regardless if it got tempered or not. Some type of conversation was had, and I feel like somebody may have been misheard, or somebody even like crossed the line or something like that, and there needs to be some forgiveness. But there is some sense of dishonesty, like somebody either held back the truth, like totally said a full on lie. The Ace of Swords is about clarity, it's about truth, it's about integrity and honesty and stuff like that. So in the reverse, I'm seeing like somebody got something confused, somebody got something very mixed up, or you know, there's another card out here specifically for lying and stuff like that. I'm not seeing it, so I don't really know. But ultimately, somebody is not being very clear with what they're meaning here. And there needs to be like some forgiveness or a way to resolve this, because it just doesn't seem to be resolved. King of Wands, Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like one person's coming or operating out of their emotion, and the other person's operating out of their ego. And I can see it here too, why there's a emotional and energetic disconnect is because one person is operating out of their emotions, the other person is operating out of their energy or even their ego. Not terrible operating out of the ego here. It seems like they're operating more out of their creative ego, which is good. They're very passionate and creative and sensual about like their approach, but the other person is very much like, I want to take care of you, I want to nourish you, I want to make sure everything's okay, I want to make sure that you're safe. The person operating out of their energy, out of their ego, is like, I want to take some risk, I want to like experience new things, I want to blah 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 blah. Like they're just very passionate and stuff like that. So again, I feel like something got kind of like misinterpreted or something like that. But it feels like Nine of Swords in the reverse. It feels like you guys are gonna like come out of this a little bit, come out of this. It just involves a little bit more compassion in between, like to balance everything out. Because prior, it may have been something that kept you up at night, that stressed you out or something like that, that made you feel very mentally overwhelmed because you're like, this person just doesn't get it. But somehow, some way, if you just like approach it with a little bit more compassion, a little bit more empathy and stuff like that, and kind of seeing where each other is really trying to come from, that should help. I'm gonna leave that there. I didn't want to bring this video too long. I feel like we covered all grounds and things like that. And you're lifting weight off of your shoulders in any regards. Energetically, you're just like, I'm not meant to hold on to this. So I feel like you're going to be communicating a little bit more, or just being able to accept things, accept people, accept places for what they are, and then place them exactly where they belong. That is kind of one of my top advices in life. It's just like, accept them for who they are, but place them where they belong, because not everybody is meant to have a seat at your table. So now that we got that here, I'm going to end this with pulling a card for each zodiac sign. So let's get into it. Okay, fixed signs. If you are dealing with an Aries, red flags, warning signs, ignored intuition, potential trouble. You knew better. There's some red flags that they are waving at you, and you're just like, no, that's not it. That's not them. No, not at all. Not at all. What did I just say? Accept people for who they are. Accept the red flags for what they are. but place them where they belong. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, status upgrade. New achievements, improve social standing, lifestyle elevation, lifestyle elevation, and next level. Okay, they are literally a walking red flag, but they got a little status. Don't get played, okay? Accept them for who they are. Place them where they belong. If they take care of you, I'm not giving you any professional advice. I'm not giving y'all any professional advice. Absolutely nothing. I'm gonna just STF you. I'm gonna just STF you. Okay. If you're dealing with a Taurus, toxic love, pain disguised as passion, addictive patterns, harmful attachment, can't live without, and soul contract. Faded connections, karmic relationships, spiritual agreements, destined to meet. Oh, I want to say this. We had the Fool card, which is Aries, I believe, again. We have the Universe, which is... The Universe doesn't really have... I'm trying to think. Ask me about that another time. The Universe is out here. And then the Wheel of Fortune, which is fixed signs. It has fixed signs all around it. Maybe not on this card. It has monkeys and and alligators. But the Wheel of Fortune is usually Taurus energy. Excuse me, not Taurus energy, fixed sign energy. But if you're dealing with a Taurus, toxic love, soul contracts. So maybe your soul has signed up for this to teach you some type of lesson, some type of karmic cycle that you're going in. But divine timing, patience is required, trusting the process, perfect timing when it's meant to be. Then I don't know, maybe time will be up soon. I don't know. I can't tell you what your soul contract is saying unless you book a reading with me in private, okay? If this reading is resonating for you or you would like to dig deeper, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at Libra Baby Doll. Okay, so that's for if you're dealing with a Taurus. If you're dealing with a Gemini, me versus me, self-competition, personal growth, becoming better than yesterday, my only competition. So I feel like they're trying to compete with you, but it's really they're trying to compete with themselves as they see a reflection in you, and they're trying to one up you constantly. But it feels like you may have you may have struck some sense of awareness into this person. Lesson learned at the bottom of the deck. Wisdom gained, completing cycles, growth through experience. I'm wiser now. So maybe they kind of see things clearly of like how they have been reflectant in their other connections and relationships and stuff like that. And again, they might be at like some type of competition with you, but it's only them trying to outdo themselves. Outdo something that they see within you, that they see in themselves, and they're like, no, I'm better than that. But they don't realize, Buki, that's you. Me versus me, self-competition. But there's some type of lesson learned around them. If you're dealing with a Cancer, DM slide. So they might be sliding your DMs on social media. Unexpected flirtation, direct messages, testing the water, sliding into your inbox. Money moves. That might be a scammer. Smart decisions, strategic investment, building wealth, making my money work. Take it however it resonates. They might be sliding your DMs, giving you a little personal message or something like that. It might be a little flirty. It might be a little direct. Whatever it is, they slide into your inbox so y'all can make some money moves. Okay? If you're dealing with a Leo, swipe right. You might be online dating. You might find them online. Instant attraction, digital romance, match found. Self-made, independent success, overcoming odds, creating your own path, built from nothing. They may be very independent. You may find them on online, on some type of online dating or something like that. Or they might be another person that might slide in your DMs or something like that. Funny how these cards came out side by side. They're almost giving the same vibe. But yeah, it says it's a match. You match with them somehow, some way. And they seem to be very independent. If you're dealing with a Virgo, this came out. It's the second time this card had come out upside down, but it's actually 'tis the season. Okay, the mask and the veil has been lifted off of people, off of places, off of things. Y'all can't fake the funk no more. That's just not how that stuff is happening anymore. So I'm gonna keep this in the upside down, but it says behind the mask, hidden emotions, concealing true self, afraid to show reality. No one sees the real me. Behind the mask, I feel like the mask is dropping. I feel like you're gonna be able to see them clearly for who they are or who they're trying to be and stuff like that. Like you're gonna be able to read them very quick, very in poker face underneath that. So they might be trying to hold up some type of poker face with you. Again, hiding true feelings, impossible to read, emotionally detached, you'll never know. They might think that, but you know, they're trying to hide their true feelings for you. But the mask cannot withhold all that they are trying to conceal here. Okay, if you're dealing with a Libra, deja vu, repeating patterns, familiar lessons, unresolved issues. We've been here before. So if you're dealing with a Libra, you may have a deja vu moment with them. You're like, haven't we done this before? Haven't we been here before? Haven't we had this conversation before? Or like some unresolved issues maybe popping up, like, bruh, how are we still talking about this? How are we still talking about this? It's giving me deja vu. Blind dates. So they may be a new person and they just got like a familiar spirit and you're like, haven't I met you before? But it says surprise meeting, unexpected chemistry, awkward introductions, could be love or disaster. And you're kind of asking yourself, I feel like I've been here before. You got like a very familiar presence to you. If you're dealing with a Scorpio. Okay, this came out in reverse, but it says speak up. So I feel like it says expressing needs, defending yourself, courage to confront, your voice matters. I feel like the Scorpio is afraid to speak up about what like they actually need. They don't know how to express their needs. They don't know how to defend themselves. And they lack the courage to actually like confront people and like, again, speak up and be assertive about something. Fake flex. Maybe they look like, or maybe they was acting like they big and bad and that they gonna be able to like present that a certain amount of like energy or something like that. So they fake flexing, pretending wealth, showing off borrowed luxury, deceptive bragging, rich on Instagram, broke IRL. Yeah, they fake flexing. Regardless if that's with money or with how like they present themselves or something like that. It's borrowed. It's not theirs. Okay, let's Sagittarius. Dealing with the Sagittarius, they're a catfish. Pretending to be someone else online, fake profile, deceptive images, not who you think I am. Overnight success, rapid rise, sudden recognition, unexpected breakthrough, all eyes on me. So they catfishing, but they get some type of recognition for it. They may be really popular, really influential or something like that. But whole time, they faking it. If you're dealing with Capricorn, secret admirer, hidden affection, anonymous notes, unknown interest, someone's watching. So they might be watching you. They got some secret feelings for you. They may have admitted it, but you didn't know it was them. It's a Capricorn. But yeah. Secret admirer, Energy vampire. Okay. They're here to suck your soul. Draining connections, toxic influence, protect your energy, time to cut the cords. They're an energy vampire. They secretly admire you, but they really just want to siphon all your energy. If you're dealing with an Aquarius, booked and busy. They might be real booked and busy, productively high, full schedule, no time to waste, success on the calendar. They may be super busy, always working, always on the grind, always on the go, and stuff like that. Brand new. Maybe they're acting brand new. But brand new, fresh beginnings, reinventing yourself, new ventures, watch me shine. So they're on to bigger, better, brand new things. Booked and busy, booked, busy, brand new, okay? That's just like the energy they in. They reinventing themselves, okay? And they gonna say, watch me shine while I do it. If you're dealing with a Pisces. Came out upside down. But it says situational single, temporary loneliness, choosing solitude, waiting for better, not selling. It's in a reverse. So again, if you're dealing with them, they might not be fully single. They're not even situationally single. They just like they're being more open. Self-care Sunday. No, they're not. Prioritizing rest, recharge emotionally, pampering yourself, me time matters. If you're dealing with a Pisces, they are very much in their self-care era. Okay? They choose to be single, yes, but they also choose to be open and let you in their space, yes. Okay, so they're not fully single, they're not fully taken, they're just here enjoying your time, okay? And on Sunday or on whatever day, they make sure that they prioritize their rest. They make sure they pamper themselves. They make sure they recharge themselves because their me time matters, okay? So I hope this all resonated for you. If you have any further questions or want to dig deeper in this reading, fixed signs, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at Libra Baby Doll.